All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining United Spinal Association Greater Philadelphia chapter for our monthly educational webinar series. We ask that you please use the chat feature for any questions that might arise, which will then be answered at the end. If your question is complex or if it is easier for you to verbally ask your question at the end, please raise your hand in that feature and I can unmute you so that you can have more of an open dialogue with our host. So we are very excited to have Vicki Landers with us this evening to discuss the Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation, otherwise known as PATF. Vicki is the funding assistant coordinator who works with PATF to help seniors and people with disabilities in the Philadelphia area to connect with the assistive technology they want through funding resources. We're very excited to have Vicki here with us this evening. I would now like to introduce Vicki Landers to start our webinar.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me come into your living rooms or offices, wherever you are. My name is Vicki Landers. I have she, they pronouns, and I'm going to talk to you about something that I'm very passionate about, which is funding resources for assistive technology. I am going to share my screen and let's get this started. Just want to make sure everybody can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Hello? Okay. Thank you, Frank. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is, of course, funding resources for assistive technology in Pennsylvania. And that's because I work with the Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation, or PATF. I like to show a bunch of pictures because assistive technology looks different for each person. And I think that it is very showing pictures of what somebody's assistive technology looks like gives us ideas on what assistive technology needs that we may encounter and may not even realize that they're assistive technology. So, of course, on this photo, we have a woman sitting in one of the stair lifts, a man who is using enhanced glasses to see his cell phone, a scooter user, a man who has his hand up to his ear who has a hearing aid, and then a woman who has, honestly, I forget what the name of those are called, but they're new glasses for those people who have blindness so that they can see better. On the next screen, you'll see it's kind of the same screen, except for this is examples of smart home technology. And of course, there's a woman and a man who are sitting and they're cooking dinner and they have a box in front of them. That could be telling them the recipe, could be having a timer, any of those kind of ideas. There's a woman who is sitting in front of her desk and talking to her Alexa or whatever you want to call them. There's another woman who uses her phone for different things around the house to set them off, like your lights or your door, those type of things. The next image is a man with a buzzer on his door. The person has blindness and is a person that bell actually makes a pig noise to tell him that that is the door that's opening, that somebody's coming in. And then again, a gentleman who has his Alexa or whatever you want to call it next to him. Some of the fun things, you know, we all know assistive technology are ramps for our vehicles. There's assistive technology for smart homes, all different types of things that you can do. A video so you can see who's at the door before you answer it. Of course, there are ramps. There's assistive technology for AAC devices or tablets, those type of things that will help somebody communicate or learn differently. And then again, we have somebody with a hearing aid. Our hearing aids are actually one of the most funded piece that we have here at PATF. And that is because, unfortunately, most insurance companies do not cover hearing aids. So the Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation is a statewide nonprofit organization based in King of Prussia. The majority of the board and staff are individuals with disabilities and or immediate family members. And community development financial institution consumer lender. That is given to us by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. PA's alternative financing program, which is the Federal Assistive Technology Act, is where we get our funding from. And PATF is one of the 3 programs in Pennsylvania under the AT Act. One is us, Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. One is TechOwl, or used to be PIAT, and the other is the Disability Rights Pennsylvania. So what is assistive technology, or AT? It's any device or service that can help a person with a disability or older adult do the things that they want. I mean, that is very different for each person. You'll see here, again, I have the person who has a hearing aid, as I do, somebody who has hand controls for her vehicle, another person who has a tray plate on her walker, somebody who's using the adapted paddles for for their canoe. I probably got that terminology wrong. Sports and I don't get along very well. I have somebody who has an adapted snow shovel, and then next to her at the top is a woman who uses a smartwatch to control her diabetes. So AT services are also covered. That means the evaluation that you need to have so you can figure out what it is that you need and how it needs to be done. The selection process on how that works. Designing it, the construction if that's necessary. Any training that you need on a new device. And that doesn't, that is a whole span of different things. I had somebody come in and train me on my smartwatch because I couldn't figure out how to use it. And that was part of a funding that I got. And then also repairs that need to be done because we all know things break down every once in a while and they need to have the repairs done. And this is all covered in our funding sources. So I always like to give a comparison of PATF and TechOwl, because TechOwl is here in Philadelphia at Temple University. It actually is probably a block and a half from my house. So how we help Pennsylvanians with disabilities. So if people want answers to like AT questions or share and compare AT with like how to use it, TechOwl does that. So we don't want to reinvent what somebody is doing. We're filling in the blanks where they're not being done. So it's shipping AT to your home to try it. TechOwl has a great equipment lending library. Finding gently used AT because they have a reuse program. They also run free special phone and deaf-blind programs. But what PATF does is we provide you with the information about the funding resources so you can have your AT. excuse me, I live next to a busy street and there's an ambulance coming through. We also lend you money to help you buy the AT through financial loans. And I'll talk about that more in a few minutes. We also provide financial education resources and coaching that is needed. And then we both, of course, we're helping to increase access to assistive technology. And that is one of the reasons why I enjoy this working with this organization. So the PATF programs and services are split into three types. One is the information and assistance about assistive technology and the funding resources and vendors. Also the financial loans for the assistive technology. And then financial education, because that we find is a very big part of making sure that you can afford the technology and to keep it up the way that you need to. So PATF helps Pennsylvanians of all ages, all income levels, all disabilities, all health conditions, in all communities, no matter of your cultural background. So this is for everyone. So the first part of it is funding your assistive technology. It's a guide to funding resources in Pennsylvania. It's how to choose your assistive technology, how to create a strategy on how to get your assistive technology through funding or grants or whatever that looks like. And we have a lot of that information. To learn about public and private funding. And then also to discover that there are more than 65 funding resources for assistive technology here in the state of Pennsylvania. So this booklet here is available in print. It's also has an accessible PDF. And it is also brand new, available in Spanish. And you can download it, and the website is there. Anybody who would like to have this, the PDF version of this can have that. I will send that out to Wendy or Megan after this is over. So of course our website is www.patf.us, and if you hit /funding your AT, that's how you can download the book yourself. You can also ask me. I do have some here at the house, where it's my work office, and I can send those out to you. So our first program is our mini loan program. And our mini loan program is anywhere from $100 to $7,000. It's a zero interest, 0%, 0% interest, zero fees. I'm sorry. So to me, I'm like, so why doesn't everybody do this? Payments are as low as $20 a month. And there's a 4-year maximum loan term on paying this back. And again, you'll see different pictures. These are all folks from Pennsylvania that we have worked with. So an example for the mini loan is Sandy is recently retired occupational therapist who now has time to help make AT devices for students in Easter Seal's Early Intervention Program, or EI. Sandy charges families for materials and for a couple hours of her time, regardless of the number of hours she actually spends. So what we were able to do is to get a 3D printed joystick plus time spent training students and families was $100. So at a zero interest and no fees, the repayment term for this was 5 months. So it was $20 a month for you to work with Sandy to get the piece of the 3D printed joystick that you needed. That is one example. Another example would be John was diagnosed with ALS and recently became a wheelchair user. John contacted PATF to request a loan to purchase a smart speaker with display and a smart thermostat in order to control his environment through his tablet. A PATF mini loan covered not only the cost of the new smart home devices John wanted, but also the installation and all the training expenses. So the pieces that he received were an Echo Show, the Nest thermostat, and of course the installation and training, which was a total of $530. Again, there was no interest and no fees. So the repayment terms were 20 months at $26.50 a month. So we had Lindsay tell us that with a child who is nonverbal, I didn't want to wait. The loan application was simple, and we received the check within a week to purchase the iPad. And that's Macy and Lindsay there with her pink iPad. So the next type of loans that we carry are low interest loan program. And that is $7,000, $7,001 and above. And that is a 3.75 interest with zero fees. It is not guaranteed up to $60,000, but it is guaranteed up to $35,000. And loan terms are based on the useful life of the device, kind of like driving a car off the lot. It depreciates before you get it home. So a low interest loan example is William, who has muscular dystrophy and is a wheelchair user, came to PATF for a low interest loan for home adaptations. The barrier-free shower and ramp into and out of William's home was paid for by his waiver services. Medicaid paid for the hospital bed and the Hoyer lift. So what he needed help with was the stair glide to the second floor, which was $7,500. He had a 3.75% interest with no fees, with a repayment term of 4 years, which was $168.50 a month. One of the guaranteed low interest loans was Nancy, who has cerebral palsy and is a wheelchair user, came to PATF for a low interest loan to purchase an adapted vehicle. Vehicle adaptations, lowered floor, ramps, tie downs were paid for by the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, or OVR. What we helped her with was the vehicle body. The cost was $25,000, and again, at 3.5% interest and no fees, with a repayment term of 7 years, she spent $339 a month. So here's Bob. It's being able to listen to the car radio in my car. It's going to the grocery store and asking the clerk where to find something and understanding their answer. Having hearing aids, it's a life changer at my age. And I can tell you, as a hearing aid user, they are a lifesaver in daily life. So Tom from Philadelphia said, I could not professionally compete with other producers. An acquaintance suggested I contact PATF, and it was like rubbing the lamp. So you got a low interest loan for computer and music software. So again, I always tell people, AT is what will help you to live your independent life, and whatever that looks like. So in our financial education, we do budgeting, saving. We talk about the PA-able loan or savings. I'm not sure what that is, the terminology for it, but it's the PA-able. We talk about banking and credit and housing, employment, a lot about transition age checklist, and adult decision makings. And that's all part of our financial education that we do. And that is through our program called Sense and Sensibility. It's a guide to money management. I use it myself. It is also available in print and accessible PDF, also available in Spanish. There's also an educator companion manual and slides available for teachers. I actually run this for other organizations. You can download the PDF at patf.us/financial/ -education. And the companion website to this is called studymoney.us. And again, I will have all of these in a PDF with the clickable links, and it's all accessible after the after this is over. Alicia said, it was thrilling to hear about the changes my students have made in their everyday lives. For the first time ever, Alicia had money left over at the end of the month. And that was Kaylin's, that was Alicia's instructor who said that. And she's from Allegheny County. So there's lots of information around smart homes. And our guide is called the Smart Homes Made Simple. And it's your guide to like smart home technology. It is, I learn something new every time I read through it, and I read through it to help folks fill out their applications, to figure out what their needs are. I can do it over the phone. I can do it through Zoom. I can come out to houses depending on the areas that you're living in. This is also available in print and as an accessible PDF, also in Spanish. And it includes a self-assessment tool, which is amazing. And you can download it. And I'm not going to read the whole thing through because I'm hoping that I can get those all those links to you, so that way you can check it out more. And then also the companion website, which is smarthomesmadesimple.org, which is just about smart home technology. So Kelvin said it gives me more independence. Since I lost my vision, I use my Echo Dot to listen to podcasts and music, call my dad, check the time, or whatever the weather is. Wish we had that 2 weeks ago at Disability Pride. So his program, he had the information and assistance, and he got smart home technology project that was going on. We got him an Amazon Echo Dot. So this is our basic contact information. I usually try to not spend a whole lot of time on slides because I find that lots of folks have questions, hopefully, and I think that a half hour of slides is more than everybody needs. So my contact information is V as in Vicky, Landers, Landers, at patf.us. You can also reach the office at patf@patf.us, or going to our website, which is patf.us. The phone number is there. It's a Pennsylvania phone number. There are folks that are answering the phone 5 days a week. The address again is in King of Prussia. You can sign up for our newsletter so you find out more information and new changes and new programs that we start. We have a lot of little programs. They just completed a mini pilot program, which really worked out well, and we're hoping to expand on that. But you can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our LinkedIn page. So I am going to stop sharing. And leave this open so we can ask some questions. Anybody has questions about this? Like I said, I want to make sure that I left lots of time so that way we could answer those, at least if I tell everybody, I don't know everything, but what I do know is that I can find that answer for you if I don't have it for you. And I'm really good at getting back with you. So any questions out there?
Please feel free to use the chat feature, or at the bottom, there's a raise hand feature, and I can then give you access